You know I like to crunch my numbers, and I found a couple of team stats that pretty much define the New York Jets 2022 season. Let's talk about them. And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wat2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. If you're returning, please like. I appreciate all your support. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of stats I found on the 2022 Jets that, to me, really defines what went wrong this season. It's easy to talk about injuries, bad quarterback play, play calling not being creative enough. But I want to go a little bit deeper than that and talk about some tendencies that I think really hurt the Jets this season, and these things have got to change next season. So the first thing is first quarter points. The Jets scored a combined 43 first quarter points in 17 games. That is less than a field goal per game. So I have tried to be somewhat supportive of Mike LaFleur, but I'll tell you what, if he comes back, they have to come up with better play calling right out of the gate. Because if the Jets can get an early lead, it puts their defense in position to do what they do best, cover and rush the quarterback. Because this is a defense that is meant to stop passing offenses. So if the Jets get ahead in these games early and it forces the other team to pass a lot more and a lot sooner, the Jets are more equipped to stop it. So a better first quarter offense, big for 2023. And by the way, 43 first quarter points, they rank 29th in the league. You're going to notice a pattern here as I go through a few of these numbers, okay? Their turnover margin, -7. Where do the Jets rank in the league? 29th. Again, -7 turnovers. And not only that, they only had 16 takeaways, less than one takeaway per game on average. You know what? We talk about this defense being a championship caliber defense. Joe Douglas described it himself as a championship caliber defense. You know what? Championship caliber defenses take the football away. And the Jets have only 16 takeaways all year long, ranking them 29th in the NFL. You're picking up on the pattern here. I know you are. And it gets even better. Time of possession. I felt like there were a lot of games this year where the Jets just did not possess the ball. The defense was stuck on the field. They allowed these long drives. They may not have always allowed a touchdown, but they'd have trouble getting off the field on third downs. You know, there'd be just this one play where they couldn't recover the fumble, or they get their hands on an interception, but the ball would fall to the turf, and little things like that would happen. The Jets averaged 28 minutes and 44 seconds in time of possession. Where does that rank them in the NFL? Yep, 29th. Where else would it rank? And I'm going to go through two other stats here. Penalties per game. Now, I think every team kind of thinks that the refs have it out for them, that they take a lot of penalties. Well, believe it or not, the Jets average 5.4 penalties per game. That doesn't rank them 29th. Oh, no. It ranks them 15th overall, basically right in the middle of the pack. That's not bad. I can live with in the middle of the pack for penalties. Here's where it hurts. Penalty yards per game. All right? 50.9 penalty yards per game. That ranks the Jets at 27th overall. So 15th in terms of number of penalties, but 27th with penalty yards. So when the Jets did take a penalty, it was typically a 15-yard penalty. There'd be a pass interference. It'd be a really devastating penalty, not like a 5-yard false start. You know, so the penalties that they did take really, really hurt them. And there's one more stat that I want to talk about. Now, this is from ESPN. They've got all these new blocking metrics and things like that to, try to define what offensive linemen are playing the best, what defensive linemen are playing the best. When you look at the team run blocking, because, again, this is a run-predicated offense, especially when Breece Hall is on the field. This is an offense that brought in Lakentomlinson to solidify the run game. Okay. Connor McGovern played the whole season, and then they went through a whole slew of players, in left tackle, right guard, and right tackle. The Jets had a 70% run block win rate. So what that means is 70% of the time the Jets offensive lineman, won that battle against the defensive player. 70% ranks the Jets 30th in the NFL, the third worst run blocking offensive line. That had a lot to do with Dwayne Brown, who was absolutely terrible as a run blocker. I know he was playing with a torn rotator cuff. He was okay as a pass blocker, but his run blocking was completely unacceptable. He was basically on the level of Morgan Moses last season for the Jets. It was like the Jets had Morgan Moses at left tackle instead of right tackle. That's how I describe it. And George Fant has never been known for his ability to run block. He's more of a pass blocker. Max Mitchell did what he could, but, this was supposed to be a redshirt year for him. He did what he could. I'm not going to kill the guy. Elijah Vera Tucker is fantastic. It's just that he had to be moved around a whole lot, and then we lost him for the season. So that is the other thing. This offensive line, we talk about the Jets have to upgrade the offensive line. I really hope that Joe Douglas prioritizes the run game. Because we all talk about the offensive line, the pass blocking ability. With Breece Hall, with Michael Carter, with Bam Knight, even Ty Johnson. You know what? This is an offense that needs to run the ball first. I love Garrett Wilson, but this is about running the ball. So that means, you have to prioritize it. If Mekhi Becton comes back and can play, that is going to be a huge help. But you got to consider that a bonus. AVT will be back. That's enormous. Dwayne Brown, he could compete for a spot, but you know what? He better have offseason surgery. And then if he can earn a spot, great. George Fant, see you later. Thank you for your time. There's the door. Connor McGovern, you know what? I want to upgrade from Connor McGovern at center. To me, I want to see the Jets draft an offensive lineman in either the first or second round and sign a big offensive lineman in free agency. At least 2 new pieces are going to be needed on this offensive line. And the run block win rate metric proves that completely. 30th out of 32 teams. It felt like for the last half of the season, the Jets averaged 2 yards per run. That has to change if this offense is going to go anywhere, regardless of who the offensive coordinator is. So those are some stats for you about what really went wrong for the Jets and what has to change for 2023. So give me your thoughts. Any particular stat that I mentioned that really stands out to you? Any stats that you've heard about the Jets this year that really stands out, positive or negative? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.